Okay, on number 1, you're having to find the rate. So you take 150 miles, you divide it by 3 hours, and you get 50 miles per hour. And that is your rate. All right, on number 2, what you want to do is you're going to set up an equation, or actually a function, and it's $250 for each video, and it's a startup of $25. Your independent is the number of videos right there. Your dependent is the cost, which is right there, because the cost depends on how many videos you rent. Number 3, you have I, V, and R. You have to solve for V. V is up here, so that means you have to get rid of the I, so you multiply both sides by I. And then I times R is IR, so V is equal to IR. On this next problem, number 4, P is equal to N times C minus E. You simply have to plug in and solve. They give you the P, they give you the N, and they give you the E. You just got to be ready to solve for C. Now, in order to do that, what you have to do is you got to get rid of the 800. So, I add the 800. That gives me 5250. I then bring down the 3000C. I divide both sides by 3000, and C is equal to 1.75. If you don't have a calculator, this is what I expect you to do on your test. 1.75. On number 5, x minus 6 is less than 2, and x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 6. In order to find the solution, you have to solve both inequalities. So, here you add 6 to both sides, you get x is less than 8. Subtract 6 on both sides, you get x is greater than 0. Remember, 0 comes first, so you have 0, and then 8. 0 is solid, 8 is open, it's greater than 0, but less than 8. On number 6, what you're having to do is you're doing solving by substitution. This one's already solved for you, so you're simply going to plug in here. All right? So I got rid of the parentheses. I got 4x plus x. You combine like terms, which is 5x. Then you bring down your minus 3. You add 3 to both sides, and you get 5x equals 5. When you divide by 5 on both sides, you got x equals 1. You then got to take that 1 and plug it back in. You can plug it back into this equation or the second equation. I chose the second equation, so I plugged it in right there. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Put the x and y together, and there's your solution. That's the intersecting point of 1, negative 2. Number 7, equally refers to means to divide evenly. So if you have 48 sand dollars and you're going to divide them equally amongst your friends, this is the expression I want to see. Then, if you have 8 friends, well, 48 divided by 8 is 6, so that means each one of your friends is going to get 6 sand dollars. On number 8, you had to solve this one by combining like terms. Well, remember, p to the third and p to the third, so that's a positive 2 and a negative 10. That makes a negative 12. That makes a negative 10 p to the third. Then I wrote everything down, and negative p squared minus 7p squared, that's a 1. Put those together, and you get negative 8p squared. Now, it doesn't matter which order you write it in. I'm not asking for that, but technically I would like it in this order. I'm sorry, I like it in this one because I want p to the third comes first and then p squared last in descending order. Alright, number 5. In this particular case, you had to plot these points. So this one is 150. This one was at 4. Let me think. It was at 220. This one was at 300. And if you notice, what I did was I did rise over run for every single one of them. I found the ratios for every single one of them. All right, so this is actually 180 divided by 3 is 60 over 1, or 60. All right, and then on number 9, it was basically asking you to just find the rates, and there they are: 60 over 1, 20, 40 over 1, and 56.7. That was the miles per hour. Now on number 10, Uh, you'll notice I kind of messed up a little bit, but you have this equation. I solved for y to make it easier, and that's what I put right here. I started off, I wrote it here, but realized that's going to be too hard to do because then I'd have to solve for y. So, in doing so, that's why I solved for y and I took this equation and I brought it right here. So y is equal to negative x plus 1. I plugged in the negative x, that's this right here. So a negative negative 2 is a positive 2, plus 1 is 3. There's my coordinate point. Now, with these right here in the middle, I used the new equation that I solved for. That way it'll be a little bit more clear for you to read. Now, a negative negative 1, because I plugged in that negative 1 right here. A negative negative 1 is positive 1, plus 1 is 2. Negative 0 plus 1 is 1, and so on and so forth till I had these coordinate points. I then plotted them. Notice I did not connect them. Now the reason I didn't connect them is because I was really just looking for those coordinate points. Now because it's an equation, you could actually connect them.